Hello and welcome, Brett here with clickmill.co. In this video and in this kind of step in the process of reviewing a Christian school website or really just any service, business, or ministry site, we're going to be looking at the website and finding problems that are going to keep this type of ministry or business from getting leads that they need to sell. So I want to show you this website. Now, we're not necessarily going to get too far into this because I'm going to have some other in-depth trainings for you where we really go over the structure of a website and how to optimize for conversions and just a lot of other things. And the more that you go through those trainings, the better you're going to be able to come onto a school like this and give recommendations. So I will look over and I'll show you some of the things that we'll review, but the trainings that we'll also prescribe, you will get much more in depth. So first thing I want to know, and the first thing I'm going to look at is the hero section. This is the first section that anybody is going to be looking at. And this is what we're going to do in this video. And then I'll also just probably make some additional lessons where I'm giving you other trainings. But in the hero section here, couple things I'm going to look at. Visit Hope Academy on Instagram. Bad choice. Okay. When we study the marketing funnel, I'll recommend this. You don't do a bunch of advertising and marketing, like, for example, on Instagram to send people to your website so that they can then go back to your Instagram. That makes no sense whatsoever. So, I mean, right off the bat, I'm going to tell them how ridiculous this is. And of course, I'm going to do that in a nice way. I'm just hanging out with you and I'm just being straight. So a good example of this in scripture is like Jesus goes to the disciples, Matt, Peter, James, and John on the boats. They need fish. They need help. And, he gives them fish. And then he says, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. What is this organization doing? They're going out to Instagram. They're going out to those people. They're meeting a need, which is great. That's called, a traffic generation marketing. So they're going out to these social media. They're saying, oh, look over here. We've got some awesome stuff. So Jesus says, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. And then they start walking two steps down the road. And he goes, now go back to the boats. And this is what's happening. Follow us on, visit Hope, whatever, on Instagram. All right, see you later. Go back to the boats. What are they talking about? This just doesn't make any sense. You did all this work to get them. You gave them the miracles. You showed them that you can meet a need. You brought them with you. Now they're at your website. Now you're going to send them back to the boats. So we don't want to send people back to social media. This is a super common mistake. And I'll bet you if we scroll down, we're going to find more of it. At Hope. Okay. I've got already issues. I'm seeing a bunch of them. Okay. Wow. So not anymore, but that needs to go. So that's first thing. Next thing, I'm going to look at the header banner here, the header bar, and I'm going to count the tabs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 isn't bad. 6 is about the max we want. Sometimes you'll see them going all the way across the page, and then it's like, you're confusing people. In this case, this is clean enough, but I mean, I still think that we can pare this down. Do we really need a school calendar? Probably not. And the question is why? Because when you look at these schools, Google Analytics and their data, you're going to see like 99% of people on the homepage are new visitors. New visitors don't care about your calendar. New visitors just want to go, no, who are you? What do you do? And what can I do here? They want to know if their kid can come to school here, and a calendar is not going to help that. So, admissions make sense. Obviously, we're on the homepage. That's fine. A contact page, probably you might even not even need this if you do it well, but okay, that's fine. About us, sure, but they really honestly shouldn't even need to go through to an about page to know what you're about, because people aren't going to do that. They're going to be on the site for maybe 45 seconds at the most. You don't want them flipping around through a bunch of tabs. Okay, so now let's look here. History, student and parent handbook, ethical policies. Okay, sure, whatever. That's kind of school life, breakfast and lunch. Okay, so they're talking about their lunch programs. All right. I mean, this stuff's okay, but there's not too many. So that's all right. We, maybe just say, this could be simplified. I'd probably take out the calendar, but that's not a huge issue. Keeping them. The goal here is to tell them what's keeping them from getting leads. Okay. Believe, aspire, achieve, hope academy is a little bit hard to read. So one of the things that I would recommend firstly here is that this is not formatted to actually be a website logo. This is a cool logo. It's great. Put it on a mug or something. This isn't how website logos are supposed to look. Website logos are supposed to fit in line with this title bar. And so let me pull up. Let me see here. I want to show you an example here. So over on ClickMail, you'll see we have logo in line with the title bar. And you'll notice, again, title bar, we're trying to keep this really simple. We do have a couple drop downs that fit with under the services right here. But other than that, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and button is 5. And so, you know, what are we looking at over on that site? So we're going to come back over. So coming back, here we go. This needs to be reformatted into a more rectangular thing so that we can kind of make this website look functional. So this needs to go, follow us on Instagram. We could shorten this, and usually websites are going to let you know that this is a header bar. So it's not just floating over that blue sky, but it's not, oh, okay, there we go. So it does transition to a header bar. So that's okay. But you'll notice that weird size right here tries to go and fit up in here and it doesn't fit. So they need to fix that. That's again, not a mission critical issue, but it is an issue they should fix. Now, here's where we get into the big issues on this, header title bar. Okay, so firstly, what grabs your attention on this screen? Two things, the picture and, it's an okay picture, I guess, but is that really what you want people looking at when you've got one line of attention? No, you want them focused here on what they should do. So the picture is drawing your attention away. I'm looking at Hope Academy over here and this picture. And then I've got this scrolly thing at the bottom telling me about Black History Month. And, is this really where you want your attention going? Whatever your thoughts are on Black History Month, is that where you want the attention of your potential clients going? It's a first-time visitor to the web page. You want them to schedule a tour or call you right this second, and you've got 45 seconds to get them to do that. You don't want to be talking about this other thing over here. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's Black History Month or, the favorite color of the kids at the school, it is irrelevant to getting leads. So this needs to go. And what we need here is a title that is essentially get this by doing this. Okay. So we come here. Do they know where the school is? Do they know what the school is? Probably not. I mean, this is pretty small. They're not really going to read that. Hope Academy is up here, but should go. What is this? Okay, so we need a better logo to give us the name of the school. And then here, what we probably want to say is something like discover, I assume this is Miami. I don't know, whatever the place is, I forget, but discover Miami's #1 Christian academy in, 2 simple steps. 1, call today. 2, schedule a tour. That's how simple this should be. And what does that say? Get the #1 Christian academy by doing one of these 2 things, call, schedule a tour. And that is what this should say, because right now, what are you? Okay, I get you're an academy. But, what do? I have no idea. I'm supposed to go to Instagram. That's what it's telling me to do. I'm supposed to be thinking about Black History Month. So you can see right here, they're losing a ton of leads. And again, if we go back to ClickMail over here, what do? Get this, right? Get the training you need to take your calling to the next level and get all this stuff by getting your free account. Super clear. Well, what are we supposed to do over here on Hope Academy? Go to Instagram. And even that's not very clear when you look at the whole page. So we need 2 buttons, 2 big buttons here that say call today or schedule a tour. We need to track that. We need to send that in, make sure they have a sales process in place to convert these leads when they come in, to convert them into paying clients. And we need a much more clear title. Get this when you, get this by this. All right. Get your student the Christian education they deserve. Call today, schedule a tour. And so this is the way this should be looking here. Now, one more thing is that the image itself is too, it's too in the front. It's too up front. The image should give the feel of the website. It shouldn't be the main thing we're paying attention to. And I love this phrase, a good website is beautiful, and a great website, how do I say this? I said that wrong. Good web design is beautiful. Great web design is invisible. I don't care if the picture is the greatest picture in the world. This is not the greatest picture in the world, obviously. But even if it's the best picture that, ever graced the eyes of man, it should not be this center to the page. What we want to do is we want to blur it out just a little, maybe, or we definitely want to put a kind of a fade on top of it. And again, we're going to go back over to ClickMail, and you'll notice, do we have a picture back here? Yeah, we have a picture of this huge stadium, and there's like a speaker, like some kind of a church event to take your calling to the next level. What's the feel? The picture is invisible when you really just look at it. You're not focused on the picture. You're focused on the text. This is center focus right here, not that picture. That background image, I don't keep highlighting the picture, but the background image is not the main focal point. I'm keeping their attention on this information and then moving them here to get the account. Okay, so this back here, this image is not the main. So what do? We put like a little bit of a gradient, a background overlay. That's what it's called. Excuse me, an overlay over the image so that it pushes it sort of to the back of your mind almost. So when you think about get the training, you need to take your calling to the next level. The feel is the next level is something like this crazy picture, which is awesome. And then the focus goes to get my free account, but it's subconscious, this image back here. And so but you'll notice here, what do? Boom, pictures in the forefront. There's no, this is just in your face. And so we want to maybe blur it a tiny bit, put a gradient over the top, an overlay, and push that image to the back just a little bit so that what are we doing? We're focused on this. Now, one of the things that is good is we do have a lot of, contrast between the letters and the image. So that's at least good because I can see this on some websites you're going to get here and you're not going to be able to read hardly whatever's on here because that image is right there. But whatever that image is, it needs to be pushed to the background and we need to get a bright color. Maybe not even this blue. This blue is not that bright. I know it's their color. We need to find a matching color that they're happy with, and we need to make it orange or red, or probably not red. Red's kind of negative. Orange or yellow or something bright. And we need to pop that right up here in the front and really get the attention to call now, click to call button, and then schedule a tour, which opens up some kind of form like a calendar form where they can just book a tour on whatever availability the school allows. So this is an example of how we might look over. Now, I'm not saying all of this to the client, to the potential client. I'm not going to say all of that. I'm going to pick the ones that are the most crucial. They don't have buttons and the title stinks and the pictures. Well, probably I'll skip the picture. The title stinks. The button needs changing. We need to add the buttons, and we need to get rid of this sending everybody back to Instagram. And I'm going to tell them these things are just destroying, I'm getting excited. They're really cutting into the number of leads. You put these on here, and I mean, we've seen people go from 0 leads to a gajillion leads. I don't even know, dozens and dozens of leads a month if they have the website traffic, just because they're missing these elements. And so what we're doing is we're giving them maybe, just depending on how long, 5 minutes to 10-minute video, no longer than 10. And you want to give them maybe 1 to 3 points. And you'll notice it took me a little longer than 10 to break down this whole hero section. And this is for you. But I'm just going to pick a couple of these most important ones, and I'm going to send these over to them. And at the end of that video, and you'll see the scripts in this course, but at the end of that video, I'm going to say, hey, if you want, there's no obligation, you don't need to call back. But if you want more information, we'd be happy to tell you what else we found in our audit, and then they can book a call and talk to me. So this is a basic breakdown of a hero section, and this is typically what I'm doing. And I'll just kind of improv it live. Now, you can take a couple notes and say, well, I want to talk about this, this, and this, whatever makes you comfortable. But this is the basic idea here. Now, in the other trainings, you can get more in depth, and we can begin looking at keywords. So when you look at keywords, you're going to be looking over the website for, well, what, best Christian school in Miami, Florida. Okay, so Christian school in Miami, Florida would be the keyword. Now here we have Hope Academy. Are there people looking for Hope Academy? Sure. But judging by the looks of this school, this is probably not like the world's biggest search term. There's probably not 5,000 people a month looking for this. So do we want to add in some keywords? Yeah, probably. So we can get into keyword targeting. Do they have a blog, and are those blogs keyword targeted and SEO optimized? So if you're doing SEO courses and you want to target, you're looking and you're like, hey, their blog stinks. Maybe they need a blog, which in this case they do. Let's check, see if they have one. Yeah, no blog. So it's going to be real hard for them to rank organically in their community without a blog. So, how to pick the best Christian school in Miami, Florida. We need to keyword target these types of things. And it doesn't look like they really have any of that factored in here. So that could be a problem. We could look at SEO. We could look at content creation. And we can look at overall page design as well. That's usually a little more in-depth than we might go. But I mean, what is in here that a parent is going to care about? I mean, maybe these pictures, maybe the supply list. I'm not even in your school yet. That doesn't apply to a new parent. How about publications? Where has your school been featured and published? Have you been on the news? Have you been in magazines? Is there anybody that trusts you? What about parent testimonials? I don't see any of those on here. So there's a lot of other things we can be adding to making this page more trustworthy for parents. And so we can look at the overall page structure as well. And so these are going to be some of the things we're going to look at. In this video, we just kind of focused on the header section and the hero section, which is the top of the page. And beyond that, we will have other trainings available so you can further assess a website. And I'll just say lastly, the more you do this, the more you'll know web design, because you're going to start looking at this and looking at these over and over and over. And when you get into a web design tool, you're going to be able to punch out like a super good website because you'll know what not to do. And this is a great way to learn too. So anyway, with that, I'm going to end this video and we'll get you some other trainings on other ways to assess sites. So when you go, you've got a Swiss Army knife of tools that you can be recommending and giving recommendations with. So we'll stop this video and I will see you in the very next video. God bless.